Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bears Profit Plays podcast. We're going to be giving you guys some picks for the week. We're going to be going live every Monday and Friday on our YouTube page and our Twitch and our Twitter, so make sure to check us out on that. We're going to come at you guys with 5 plays. Looks like 3 of them are for tonight on Monday and 2 are for Thursday. Or 3 are for Thursday, so make sure to look out for that. Jesse, Teets, how's it going, guys? Jesse, you had a busy weekend this weekend, going to a wedding. Do you have any crazy stories about your weekend?
Yeah, I had a busy weekend this weekend, Trey. If you guys don't know where Appleton, Missouri is, it's a very small town in Missouri that has one Casey's gas station, and that's about it. I had no Wi-Fi, no cell service for going on 9-10 hours there. So when I got back in the truck about 10 o'clock and my phone blew up when I hit service, it was pretty exciting for my Saturday picks. So,
What about you, Teets? Do you have anything going on this weekend?
Yeah, we got our local D2 powerhouse football team. They had their homecoming game this weekend, so I went out and supported them. They went away with the victory, 28-16. Cool to see some hometown kids out on that field playing as well. So it was a good time overall.
Hey, I was at one of the concession stands there for the finance club, raising money for Pitt State. You should have stopped by. I would have given you a Michelob Ultra on the house or something.
Should have went and found you next time.
Yeah, next time. But we're just going to get right into it, guys. We got a Monday night football game, Chicago Bears versus the New England Patriots. It looks like the Patriots are favored by 8 points or so. It may go up or down around kickoff time. But what are you guys' picks on that? Jesse, you first.
Couple things real quick. The line movement. Bears were plus 7.5 on Wednesday. It is now minus 8.5 as we are recording. That's reverse line movement because most of the money is on the Bears that I can see. That's a big sign for sharp bettors on the Patriots tonight. Mac Jones is back at quarterback, and I have a little take on that because Bailey Zappi is clearly the guy, right? We all agree?
Hey, Bailey the Zippy Zappy.
Yeah, out of West Kentucky, he's been having a great year so far. 2 things Bill Belichick hates: smiling and quarterback controversy. He's starting Mac Jones tonight because the Bears are a dumpster fire of a team. Patriots big at home. They're winners of 2 straight, 3-0 against the spread in the last 3. Bears, 3 losses in a row. Last 5 games, 1-4 against the spread. Pats have a great defense. It's going to be problems for Fields all night. Dominant run offense. Pats big at home.
Thanks for going Pats minus 8.5.
Pats minus 8.5.
All right. I like that. I mean, and it's crazy that the line jumped that much on the other side. Do you think that's just because Mac Jones was announced as a starter?
It could be, but from what I've seen, Mac Jones isn't as good as Zappi. So also Harris is back tonight, but Stevenson's been great in his place. So I just think it's because sharp bettors are pushing on the Patriots a little bit more. So I think Patriots is a smart play tonight.
Yeah, we all know what to expect whenever Bill Belichick goes up against a non-throwing quarterback like Justin Fields. He hasn't really seen like he can throw all that well, at least so far in his career. And but I'm going to go with the over 39.5. I got that as my team play. The over is 5-1 in the last 6 meetings between these two teams. The over is also 7-1 in the Patriots' last 8 home games. So those are some pretty good trends with that. And I also am going with Devontae Parker over 2.5 receptions. I think that's pretty low. It's just Jacoby Myers there and then a few tight ends, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. We've seen Tyquan Thornton jump on the scene over the past 2 weeks, but mainly that's been on jet sweeps. He's been targeted downfield, but we should expect Devontae Parker to at least get 2.5 receptions tonight.
Yeah, especially against that secondary for the Bears. Yep.
Yeah.
What about you?
I agree with both of you. I have the Patriots minus 8.5. I've got the over. I do have a player prop. I do have Jacoby Myers over 52.5 receiving yards. I mean, we've seen the last 3 games, when he's played when he's healthy, easy. He's cleared it with Bailey Zappi, with Mac Jones, doesn't matter. He is their go-to guy. And I think that the Patriots are going to be loving the pass as much as they're going to love the run, especially with Harris back. I think it's going to get spread out so much that it's almost a given that Jacoby Myers will hit the over.
Yeah, and I was thinking about doing the Jacoby Myers instead of the Devontae Parker, but I mean, 2.5 receptions is just so low, and he plays all the snaps out there, so as long as he's out there, I expect him to at least get 3 catches today. But it looks like, Jesse, you had Patriots 8.5. I had Parker over 2.5 receptions and the over 39. And then Teets, you had Jacoby Myers over 51.5. And which side did you have?
I had the over. Yeah.
Okay, the over as well. Okay, cool. It's nice that somebody wants the over as well with me.
Yeah.
All right, and then we also have 2 NBA games for tonight. There is more on the NBA slate, but we just wanted to pick 2 of the marquee matchups. The first one is by the Boston Celtics, favored by 6 points against the Chicago Bulls, and it's going on at 7 p.m. tonight. Teets, what do you like in that matchup?
Oh, man. Well, with me being a Celtics fan, there's a bunch of bias there, but I'm going to be taking the Celtics, the -6.5 for sure, or -5.5.
Hey, it's -5, so that's good movement on you.
Yeah. They've been 4-1 on the last Monday games against the spread, and the Bulls have been 1-5 against the spread in the last 6 games overall. I just don't think the Bulls are a good enough team to be able to keep up with the Celtics team that seems to not miss a beat from the playoffs last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty intriguing game. Jesse, I'm excited to hear what you think about it.
Celtics, dominating team this year. 3-0 this season, 2-1 against the spread. The over has hit 2 out of 3 games for them. They are right now the best team in the NBA. I don't like NBA spreads early in the year, though, because we don't really know how teams are going to gel together. But Celtics, that's a good bet for the Celtics. The Celtics also have depth with Malcolm Brogdon and Blake Griffin coming off the bench. Malcolm Brogdon, 2 years ago, was an all-star, and he's coming off the bench now for this team. I don't know if Gallinari is going to play. I think he's hurt for this game. But, again, the Celtics bench is loaded this year. I expect them to have a really deep run in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I think all the acquisitions that they've gotten over the past couple of years with Brogdon, with Derek White, has really made their point guard spot or their backcourt in general a lot more deep. And whenever you have just Marcus Smart at your point guard, before they made those acquisitions, it was a pretty scary sight, as we saw last playoffs.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stay away from the spread, kind of like what Bear said. Spreads are so hard to pick at the beginning of the year just because some are super big. Like this 5.5, it could go down to the wire in the last shot, so I don't want to get caught on that. So I'm going to go under 22 or 225.5 total points. The under is 5-0 in the Bulls' last 5 games against the winning record, and the under is 5-1 in the last 6 between these 2 teams. So the under looks like a pretty good play. They're both like to slow the ball down and kind of get quality shots and drain the clock, especially the Bulls. Neither one of these teams really like to shoot the 3 ball. Celtics do a little bit, but the Bulls, especially DeMar DeRozan, they don't like to shoot the 3. But I'm going to go with a player prop as well. Jason Tatum over 39.5 PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists. I think that he's going to try to affect the game as much as he can. It's going to be DeMar DeRozan on him, probably looking to shut him down. And DeMar's getting older, and I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with Jason Tatum, especially in the pick and roll. So I'm going to go with Tatum over 39.5 PRAs.
And I'm also going to take a prop tonight on this game. Just real quick, 13-5 on player props, not to brag. Through 3 games this season, 13-5, 72%. You can't beat that. DeMar DeRozan is averaging 22.5 shot attempts in his first 2 games, 34.5 points. Zach LaVine was back last week. Those shot attempts went down to 9 and 13 points. Wow. Zach LaVine had 16 shots, 21 points. So I'm looking at this stat here and thinking LaVine's the guy now for the Bulls, and he's going to be taking shots from DeRozan. I'm going to take LaVine points over 20.5, just for that reason.
I like that. I actually like that a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Like you said, we saw DeMar putting up stats early on without Levine, and I was excited to see what the scoring would look like with Levine coming back, just because we do know that he loves to shoot the ball. So it's kind of glaring to see that DeMar really didn't get to shoot the ball at all last game with Levine's first game back this season. But it looks like Teets and Bear, you had Celtics -5.5. I had under 225.5 total, and Jason Tatum over 39.5 PRAs. And then Bear, you had 20.5 over for Levine on points.
Yep, and I'm actually going to take away my Celtics spread.
Whoa, okay. Well,
I really think
you want to do that.
I think the Celtics are the way better team here, but early in this season, this could be a one-possession game, and the Bulls are at home tonight. So, and they also got stomped last game, 128-96 at home. So this could be a bounce back for them.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. I'm going to be looking for the defenses to kind of stand up this game and kind of make each offenses earn everything, especially at the rim. And then our last game for today on Monday, it's going to be the Brooklyn Nets versus the Memphis Grizzlies. It looks like the Grizzlies are favored by 1, so it's essentially a pick'em game. It's going to be a pretty good game. John Morant versus Kyrie Irving and KD. Jaren Jackson's still out, but we've seen Desmond Bain step up last season, and he hasn't really done much this season, but look for him to get going, especially on a big night. Bear, who do you like in this game?
Trey, I'm going to take a shot at your Lakers here. This Nets team has so much talent, and they just don't like to play basketball. It's sad to watch out there. KD and Kyrie, I don't understand how they lost their first game. They have the best talent in the NBA besides the Celtics, and they're going to get stomped in this game against the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies last game, they lost. What was that score? 137-96. The starters didn't play the fourth quarter. John Morant is going to have a huge game tonight. I'm going to take his over 6.5 assists. The Grizzlies just play basketball hard. They play tough, and they're a proud bunch of kids. They're really young. I think they're gonna embarrass the Nets tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is going to be a really good game to watch. Like I said, the stars are going to be out tonight. For me, I'm going to be going Grizzlies money line for exactly what you said. John Morant's going to be hungry. He's going to be pissed off that they got blown out last game. So look for them to be coming out with some vengeance. I am somewhat worried about, just because the Nets do have KD and Kyrie, that, they could win by 20, but also they have KD and Kyrie, so they could lose by 20. The Grizzlies are 6-0 ATS in the last 6 meetings between these two teams. Grizzlies are also 12-2 ATS in their last 14 Monday games. The Nets are 1-4 ATS in their last 5 games overall. And then I'm also going to go with Kyrie Irving over 26.5 points. I think that he's going to be looking to take advantage of John Morant, kind of show him, hey, young buck, I'm still the best point guard in the league. So look for him to put up at least 27 points tonight.
Oh, yeah. And let me add, so I think that you were all correct. But yeah, I do. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I do. You can't overlook just the talent KD and Kyrie have together. We've seen what KD's done in the playoffs by himself, literally by himself. Like, he can take over a game if needed. 2 years ago, it came down to the fact that he was 1 inch over the line from making his way to the finals.
His size 18 feet,
Yeah. So I think that I'm going to be hammering the over for this game, 233.5. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. I also am going to take the player prop of, I do believe KD is going to score over 28.5. I think that for them to even compete in this game, KD is going to have to completely show out, and probably going to be a little bit of a ball hog, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, if both of our props hit and Kyrie goes for 27 and KD goes for 29, and somehow my Memphis Grizzlies money line bet hits, I'm excited to watch this game tonight.
Yeah.
So it looks like, Jesse, you had over 6.5 assists for Ja. Did you pick a side on this game?
I'm going to take the Grizzlies.
All right, and me and I think we all took Grizzlies money line. And then I had Kyrie Irving over 26.5 points. Teeth, you had 233.5 over total points, and Katie over 28.5 points.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to be moving on to Thursday. We got some NCAA football games I'm excited to talk about. Jesse, you are a residential NCAA man. Do you want to break down this game and what we should expect?
Are we going Virginia Tech first?
Yes, Virginia Tech versus NC State minus 13.5. It's going to be Thursday at 6:30 Central Time.
I know we're different here, Trey. I know you have VTech, but Virginia Tech is 1-4 straight up in the last 5, 1-4 against the spread in their last 5, and Grant Wells is horrible at the quarterback position for this offense. I don't even know if they're going to score in this game. NC State's been banged up a little bit. The defense is a little bit worse than what people said, but they're still a really good defense. I think Leary's out in this game. He's for the season. I still like NC State minus the 13.5. Lay the points. Yeah, I think they cover at home, and it's also a night game, so they're going to be wild.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about it, but they don't have their quarterback in Leary, so he's going to be out, I think, for the rest of the season. So I'm going to be fading NC State. And you threw out a lot of bad trends for Virginia Tech. So I'm going to throw out a couple bad ones for NC State. Yeah. The Wolfpack are 0-4 ATS in their last 4 games overall. They're also 0-4 ATS in the last 4 conference games. But the Hokies are also 5-0 in their last 5 games against NC State. So with all that being said, I'm going to take Virginia Tech plus 13.5. If Leary was there, this game would probably be closer to 23.5, and I would side with NC State, but he's out, so I'm going to take the points and Virginia Tech.
Before I change, Teets, you got to give me some stats now. What you got? Anything on this game?
Oh, I'm with Trey. I'm going Virginia Tech plus 13.5. What Virginia Tech was able to do with Miami, they kept it a pretty close game. NC State has looked lost without Leary. I just don't think that they've got it. I think NC State walks away with a win in this game, but I don't think they cover 2 touchdowns.
Trey, what was that stat? The 5-0 one for VTech.
5-0 ATS in their last 5 games against NC State. So in the last 5 matchups against these 2 teams, Virginia Tech has covered.
Oh my!
And I will say this: if you look at NC State, the first game without Larry, they got absolutely demolished.
Yeah.
So
here's the problem, though, Trey, is that Virginia Tech played North Carolina a couple weeks back, and they scored 10 points. And North Carolina gives up 10 points to wet paper bags. So, no, I'm not going to change. I'm going to stick with NC State. We've been together too much. We're going to break it up here. I'm going to take NC State. I'm going to keep it.
Break it up. I like it. No more team rides. So it's me and Teets with plus 13.5 for Virginia Tech, and Jesse Lone Wolfen minus 13.5 with NC State. Looks like we got one more NCAA game, and it's going to be the number 14 Utah Utes, who are favored by 8 points against Washington State at 9 p.m. It's going to be a late game, so make sure to stay up and watch it. If there's football on, why not throw some money on it? Teets, what's your breakdown for this game?
Man, this is going to be an interesting one, honestly. From what I saw, the Utes are 4-3 against the spread this season so far, but they're 4-0 when they're favored by 8.5. Where the Cougars, they're 4-3 also against the spread this season, but that Utah defense is just insane. I think that I'm gonna go with the Utah minus 8.5 here.
All right. Hey, I like that. I'm staying away from a side just because I like Utah, but I feel like it should be more than 8.5. So something doesn't smell right here. So I'm going to stay away from that. But I am going to go with the over 55.5. If you look at it, the over is 7-0 in the Utah's last 7 games in October. And it's also 5-0 in the last 5 games versus a team with a winning record. So needless to say, Utah, if they're playing a good team, they like to score points. They put up 43 against USC last week or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And, Washington, to cover that 55, they just have to score 21, in my opinion, because I think Utah's going to get to 30. And the Utah defense has given up 42, like I said, 2 weeks ago, and 32 points the week before that. So the Utah defense was good early on, but they have been vulnerable the last 2 games out. So I'm going to go with over 55.5. Bear, what about you?
Utah used to be my go-to bet. They're
I
1-1
know.
straight up the last 2 games. They've played really tough competition. UCLA and USC, both those games were close, tough, hard fought. 0-2 against the spread last 2 games. I don't love the -8 for Utah, so I'm going to go with Wazoo +8 at home. It's now the biggest game of the year for them after they lost to Oregon. Everybody thought they had that game won against Oregon up. I think it was 13 with 2 minutes left, and they almost blew the cover. So I think Wazoo just does enough here to cover the 8 at home again. So I think they can do it +8.
And if there's a team to do it, it'll be Washington State. We've
It'll
seen
be
it year in,
Washington
year
State.
out.
I think the over is also a very good play because I think both these teams can score 30.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I like the over. I like Washington State. They were really competitive early on in the season, and they've kind of fallen back the last couple games out. But they're going to get up for this game, especially since it's the night game, big game against Utah, who's ranked pretty high. So it looks like Jesse had the Washington State Cougars +8.5.
I'm going to sprinkle the money line as well, Trey. This is the biggest game. This is the biggest game for Wazoo left on the season. I think they can pull it off. I'm going to take Wazoo money line, a little sprinkle.
I like it. I like that sprinkle.
Okay.
And then Jess Teets, you had Utah -8.5, and I had the over 55.5.
Yep.
So we got 1 game remaining to talk to you guys tonight about, and that's going to be Thursday night football. Ravens -1.5 versus the struggling Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Teets, what do you got to say about this game?
Dude, is there much to say about it? I mean, it's a Thursday night football game. We know how those go.
I mean, preseason, I would have been really excited for this game, but now the past couple of weeks, I mean, the Ravens looked good last week against the Browns, but the Bucs have been struggling.
Dude, I don't know if it's worse that Carolina won or that Tampa Bay lost. Carolina seems to be in a position to tank for a quarterback. I don't think Baker or Sam Darnold's going to do it. They've traded away their best piece, and they come out and absolutely just dominate the game. It does not make sense to me.
Yeah.
My biggest thing I'm looking at here is I'm going to go with the player prop here. I don't really feel comfortable with any of the spread or the totals. I think that Mike Evans gets a touchdown anytime this game.
I like it.
I like that. And I was they must have just dropped the player props because nope, it looks like they still don't have them.
Yeah, they don't have it. I don't know what they're at yet, but
because
whenever it does drop.
Because I was going to throw that into mine, but they didn't have it, so I didn't know what the odds were on it. But I still like the Mike Evans anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm going to go under the 44.5. We know how Thursday night football goes. Yeah. Is it on Amazon? Okay, there's going to be no scoring.
Last week, though.
Yeah, I mean, last week was last week.
A little asterisk by that game.
You can't take anything into account when Andy Dalton's starting quarterback. He threw 2 pick sixes in a span of 30 seconds.
True. Let the Red Rifle cook, though. Come on.
But I'm going to go under 44.5 with the team total, or for the total points. The under is 4-0 in the Ravens' last 4 games overall. It's also 4-0 in the Ravens' last 4 games versus a team with a losing record. The under is 5-1 in the last 6 meetings between these 2 teams. So it's going to be a pretty cagey match. Look for a 21-20 type of game to just barely hit the under. But I'm going to go with the under 44.5.
Okay.
And Bear, what about you?
The Bucs. I'm not going to defend the Bucs. The Bucs are confirmed bad after last week. But with that being said, this is do or die time for the Bucs. And if they lose this game, Brady will retire after this game. He has to. The Bucs defense, 21 points against the Panthers, but they were good, but they got tired. The Buccaneers stopped. They can't when they can't score, the defense has nothing to play for.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna zig while everybody zags here because Baltimore has right now 91% of the money. I'm gonna take the Bucs at home +1. I don't like it at all, but I'm gonna take the Bucs because hungry dog runs fast when it's hungry, and the Buccaneers need a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense why the Ravens are only favored by 1.5. If you just look at each team without knowing anything about it in their last 3 game outcomes, you would think that the Ravens should be favored by at least 6.5. So 1.5 is pretty wild. It's like they're definitely baiting us to take the Ravens. So I like fading that and taking the Bucs there.
Yep.
I don't
So it
know.
looks like me and Teets, we both had the Mike Evans anytime touchdown score. And I had the under 44.5. And then Bear, you had Bucs begrudgingly plus the 1.5 points.
Yep.
All right, and that's all the games that we got to go over for today. We're going to be coming back to you guys Friday. We're going to be live on our Twitter and on our YouTube and Twitch channel, so make sure to look out for that. Hit the subscribe button so that you know whenever any of our articles are out, any of our videos are out. And if you don't like our picks and you think it's the other side, comment below and let us know. Let us know we're wrong. Yeah, but just know whenever we're right, I'm going to find you in the comments and I'm going to rub it in your face.
Yep.
All right. Well, everybody, let's make some money tonight. And thank you guys all for watching.
Absolutely.